Now we will be doing a few real-world applications of piecewise functions. So what we are going to be doing is writing an equation, making a graph, and making a table to represent each of the following story problems. So example 1 says, Miss Podizak sells guacamole by the pound. Yum. She charges $4 per pound. Okay, right away, I see this is going to be one of my pieces. We're talking about a price per pound. So I know price is going to be my y variable, or my f of x, and pounds of guac is going to be my x. So we can also say f of x. Okay. Good. And then we see that word per. Remember, per means multiplication. So 4 times x is going to equal f of x, or 4 times the number of pounds is going to equal the price. Beautiful. I'll highlight that too for us. So $4 per pound. Then she runs a special in which she charges $3 per pound. There's another per, so there's our new price. So $3 per pound if you buy 3 or more pounds. Okay, so that 3 or more, that's going to be that subdomain. That's our restriction on our domain. So we have to buy 3 or more. So that means greater than or equal to 3. Alrighty. Then she has another bulk discount, $2.50 per pound if you buy 6 or more pounds. So there's another price. Oh, not black. I want blue. If you buy 6 or more pounds. Beautiful. So once again, there's that 6 or more. So that's going to indicate to us that x is going to be greater than or equal to 6 in this case. Okay, so next we could go straight into writing our equation, or we could make our table. I think I'm going to start with making the table. Just because it's in order. Well, that's okay. All right, we'll start by writing a function. So in the actual exercises here, all I'm really concerned with is that you guys are able to write the functions based upon the story problems. So making the table and the graph in your 4 practice problems is optional, but you do need to make sure that you write the equation. Okay, so I've got my 3 pieces of my piecewise. Remember, they don't always have 3. I've been doing all 3 pieces in this so far in our lesson today, but sometimes they have 2, sometimes they have 100 pieces. It really varies. So the first piece says she charges $4 per pound, and that's going to be up till 3. So this was our red. So I'm going to start by saying f of x equals 4x if x is, so well, we start at 0. So I guess technically you could buy 0 pounds and it would cost you 0 times 4, which is 0. So I'm going to include it. Less than or equal to x. Well, x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 3. Remember, it's not including 3 because 3 is included in that next piece. So the discount at that next bulk rate was $3 per pound if you buy 3 or more. And then the last one was 6 pounds. So this component will be 3x from 3, which is included, up till 6, but not including 6 pounds. And then the last component, let's see, what color did I do? Blue. Will be 2.5x, which is just $2.50 per pound. Remember, x represents the number of pounds. And that is if you buy 6 or more pounds. So 6x is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so there's our equation for your practice problems. This is as far as you really need to go. If you want to go ahead and make a table and make a graph, that's awesome too. Really do what you feel comfortable doing. Do what you have time to do in this challenging time. Okay, now I'm going to make my table. So if I bought 0 pounds of guac, and this table is just going to help me so I can accurately plot and graph my function. So if I bought 0 pounds of guac, it would cost me $0. I'm going to start by plotting that here. I'm going to make that a closed-in dot because you could buy 0 pounds of guac. That's something you can do. Now, thinking about buying a pound of food, you can buy like a half a pound. You don't have to buy exactly 1 pound. You could buy 3/4 of a pound. So therefore, this graph is going to be, a linear function at a rate. It's not going to be a step function. Remember in the Khan Academy, we saw some different step functions in which you have horizontal steps representing the graph. But in this case, it's going to be linear. Linear functions, linear components, linear subfunctions. There we go. All right, so if I bought 1 pound of guac, 1 times 4, it would cost me $4. So I'm going to plot that here. What if I bought 2 pounds of guac? It would cost me $8. So 2, 8, there we are. If I bought 3 pounds of guac, at this rate, it would cost me $12. However, this is not included. I'm going to star this, guys. Remember, this is not, that's going to be an open circle. So at 3, 12, I'm going to have an open circle. Because if I bought 2.999999 pounds, they're going to still charge me that rate of $4 per pound. So that's why I need to create this part of the graph going all the way up, but then whoop, open circle there. All right, now I'm going to start with my second part of my step, part of my function, excuse me, my piecewise. So the next component, remember that is 3x, so $3 per pound. So now if I did buy 3 pounds, I would actually only be charged 3 times 3, $9. So 3, I'm going to go up here to 9, and I'm going to fill that in as a closed circle. Make it a little bigger, the ending kind of x points in each of our subfunctions. All right, what if I bought 4 pounds? 3 times 4 is 12. If I bought 5 pounds, it would be 15. So 4, 12, 5 is 15. Okay, how about 6? Uh-oh, 6 is not included, but I do need to graph all the way up until 6, because if I bought 5 pounds and 9 ounces, or 5.5 pounds, or 5.999 pounds, I need to be charged at this rate. So 6 times 3 would be 18. All right, so at 6, I'm going to go up to 18, and I'm going to create an open circle. Okay, now we've got our last step. So remember the last part, it was $2.50 per pound for 6 or more. Oh, I forgot to put my stars in for this because it's not really defined in that function. But 6 at the 2.5 rate, that is 15. There we go. Isn't that funny? So 5 and 6 pounds cost the same amount. 7. So 7 would cost me $17.50. And 8 would cost us $20. So 7 is $17.50. And then 8 is 20. Whoopsie. There we go. And I guess this function really continues on at this same linear rate. So I'm going to put my arrow going up. You could buy a lot of pounds. And the information doesn't indicate that there's any more change in data. So there you go. All right, we've got one more example that we're gonna do. Why don't you guys pause the video here and see if you could maybe get started just highlighting the different parts of the next function. Piece parking garage. So pause your video, read through it, highlight it, and see how much you can do on your own. Okay, for example 2, it says Piece parking garage charges a flat rate of $4 if you park for 1 hour or less. All right, so I'm gonna highlight that. That's my first part. So $4 if you park for 1 hour or less. Now note, it doesn't say per. So although X is going to be my number of hours parked and Y will be the price, we have a flat rate here, meaning a flat rate means so it says for 1 hour or less. So if I park for a half an hour, they're not gonna charge me half of 4, they're gonna just charge me that 4. So as soon as I drive into that parking lot, up until I am there for 1 hour, I am going to be charged $4. It's a flat rate. It's not a linear relationship here. Okay, so $8 if you park more than 1 hour and up to 2 hours. Okay. Highlight that in a different color. So 8, that's our second part, up to 2 hours. $10 if you park more than 2 hours. Okay. And up to 3 hours. And then $12 if you park for more than 3 hours. Then it says there is a 6-hour limit. So after 6 hours, you will be towed. So that's telling me that I can't stay there all day. All right, so now let's think about how we would write our function. For this specific example, I think I might even skip making my table, but we'll see. Okay, so that we've got 4 different pieces that we have highlighted up here. So I'm gonna, remember, those are the 4 pieces that we're gonna write in our 4 piecewise function subdomains and subfunctions. So the first one says, it's a flat rate of $4 if you park for 1 hour or less. So f of x is going to equal 4. So the price is $4. If, oh, I wanted purple. I think my first part was purple. So f of x equals 4 if we park from 0 to 1, and that includes 1 hour. Excuse me, x is less than or equal to 1. There we go. And 0 is not included because to me, as soon as you drive into that parking lot, you're over 0. So I'm not gonna close that part in. I mean, you can't park for 0 hours. You either have parked or you haven't parked. Okay, all right, so I could start right now actually and graph this piece before I finish writing it all. I'm gonna just start graphing it. So from 0 to 1, when x is between 0 and 1, down here, our y is 4. So I'm gonna start with an open circle here at 4, and it's gonna go all the way to 1. So anytime if we're parked between here, and then I'm gonna have a closed in circle at 1 because our price includes 1 hour. All right, now if we have parked for more than 1 hour and up to 2 hours, okay, and we're gonna say that includes 2 hours, it's gonna cost us $8. So the next piece will be 8 if x is greater than 1, but less than or equal to 2. So I can graph that. So from 1 to 2, remember from 1 to 2 here on my x, my y value is 8. So remember, it doesn't include at 1, because as soon as you get 1.00001 hours, 1 hour and 1 minute, you're going to be charged this new rate. So we need to include every value up to 1, but not including 1. All All right, and that goes all the way to 2. So our step's going to come over here, and we'll fill that circle in because that is included in that rate. All right, now the third piece, it says $10 if you park more than 2 hours and up to 3 hours. So it's going to be, and we'll say that includes that 3 hours. Okay, so it was $10 for anything more than 2, up to 3, including 3. So I'm going to go, so from 2 to 3 now, it costs us 10. So I'm going to have an open circle here at 10, because at 10, it's still going to cost us that other rate. But 2 hours and 1 minute, it's going to be $10. And that goes all the way till 3. There we go. And that's going to be a filled in circle. It's cute little, this is what we call a step function. They look like stair steps. And then our last component, it's $12 if you park for more than 3 hours, but there is a 6-hour limit. So that last rate is $12. Remember, that's if we park for more than 3 hours, but up to 6, not including 6. Including 6. Any more than 6, we're towed. They're coming around as soon as that buzzer hits 6 and they're towing your car. Okay, so we're gonna go, so for this step, it's from 3 to 6 hours. And it is $12. So at 3, I'm gonna have that open circle here at 12, goes all the way to 6 with the closed in circle. And there is our function. Beautiful. Now we can't forget to label our axes. So remember, we'd said our X is our number of hours parked, and our Y is the price in dollars. Okay, so we could have made our graph here. We could have made our table here if we wanted to, but I don't really think it's necessary, especially because these steps are so small. They only include one value. So I'm not even going to do it for this one. If you want to see how I did it, you can send me an email and I'll show you how I did it. All right, so hopefully you guys did all right on this. You've got four more examples that I would like for you to try. Remember, you need to at least make your function, right? Your f of x with your subdomains and your subfunctions. I would love it if you attempted to make the graph, and if you need to, make the table to support your work on that. All right, good luck. Email me if you have any problems.